Okay, so we're here today to talk about articulation. I was happy to see so many of you asking questions about your child articulation development. So I'm going to dispel some myths and tell you how I look at articulation and when to think of it as a concern. So I like to look at articulation using a percentage model. And the reason why I do this is because there are lots of people who debate different ages when you should have different sounds. I think that we should always be addressing articulation if it's a problem and if it's affecting a child's ability to communicate his wants and needs. So with that being said, if you have a 1-year-old, you should be understanding what that child says about 25% of the time. If you have a 2-year-old who's just starting to put two words together, you should be understanding your child about 50% of the time. Now, this goes for familiar and unfamiliar listeners because parents are usually the ones that are able to fill in the blank for their child. So this goes for people outside of the immediate family as well. By 3 years old, you should be able to understand about 75% of what a child is saying. And by 4 years old, it should be close to 90% or higher. Around that age is where you see people with some lingering R or S problems. I would maybe hold off on an R unless it was really frustrating the child, but an aberrant S sound could be one of those things that was caused by having a pacifier or a bottle for too long. Now let's talk about the frustration issue for just a moment. One thing that I do see when children begin to talk and they're putting a lot of words together, people around them are not understanding them, it causes them to become very frustrated. Now, I don't generally advise seeking articulation therapy for a child who is less than 2.5 years old. They can't really follow the directions that are needed to participate in an articulation program. However, if your child is already using 4 or 5 words, chances are they can understand directions pretty well, and there's something else going on with articulation that should probably be addressed by a professional. If you have any lingering questions about your child's individual speech articulation errors, feel free to reach out to me and let me know. I have charts and graphs and all that fun stuff that I'm more than happy to share with you. Thanks so much.